G'day everyone and welcome to this very special interview. I'm really pleased to have back with us the amazing and the beautiful Chris Smith and her husband Mark Smith. Sorry Mark, you're not quite as beautiful.
Not quite.
Yeah. Look, this is really exciting. I know a lot of people in our community see you guys and Chris, and they've kind of followed you, seen you at our events. And it is wonderful that you've agreed to come back today to have a chat to us and give us a bit of an update what's happened to you guys over the years. So let's get straight into it because it's pretty exciting. We'll get to the really exciting stuff, but maybe before we do, there's some people that haven't heard your story. So I'd like to just quickly go back to when and where you started with us. And let's have this is kind of like a trip down memory lane for you guys. So when did you start with us? Can you remember?
It is. This is going to be like a little time capsule in 10 minutes. So we started in 2013. We were in the Legends 4 group, which was an absolutely fantastic group. There were some really proactive people in there.
Yeah.
So both Mark and I did it, and we had the most incredible first year because I was a technophobe and couldn't use a computer at all. In fact, I'd adamantly avowed that I would never ever use a computer because it just wasn't my thing. Mark was very good at using computers. He's an extremely patient man.
Chris could have written a book as to how many different ways you can freeze a computer. He had trouble with Word documents and would ask me questions such as, where do emails go? That was Chris's technical knowledge.
It was good.
And then, and I do remember coaching you through this stage, Chris, and it was a lot of fun. And it's really interesting. It was mainly mindset that you and I worked on together because the technical skills, you did end up picking them up. And I'd like to say, you think now what you know, you're super confident in building websites, obviously, and everything. But it was mainly, so for any beginners listening, here's lesson number 1. It was a lot of mindset work working with you because it was a totally foreign world to you. And in that vein, you guys then decided to train with us for another year, didn't you, on the new champions group?
Yes. We were in the first champions group, the very first one.
Yeah. And I think for you both, that's when things really turned around, isn't it? That's when it really, really fired up for you. Absolutely.
So the Legends 4 was fabulous, but implementing and concreting the knowledge that we learnt in Legends 4 and bringing it into champions and having that immersion within the group and access to both you and Liz, that made the difference in confidence, keeping momentum going and being able to ask the questions that we needed to ask because we were still complete beginners at a lot of things in that stage. And it was only in the next 3 and 4 years where it really started coming together. And so now super confident and can do a lot of work. We still have a tech. We have a fabulous tech in Indonesia who we've had for, it'll be 7 years in July, and he's just the best person. He's so relaxed. Trust him. Absolutely. He's wonderful. So if you've got a good tech and having that person behind you to fix any issues, which still happen, I still crash things occasionally.
So I remember when you hired him, so there you go, he's been with you from day one.
Yes.
And one thing for both of you, you guys have done things not separate, but you've done your own projects. But in essence, the two of you have done every strategy we teach. So you guys started out, especially you, Chris, you started out buying and selling websites, particularly small ones, didn't you? That was your first big go at this. And then you realized, and our community know this, you realized that, that you preferred, or you realized you could make money just building websites like affiliate sites. And that's kind of where when things did start to take off for you. Admittedly, that's why your journey took a bit longer though.
That's true. Yes. I didn't want to buy the websites any longer because I realized that they were actually really easy to make and really easy to rank. And so still a lot of my websites, the affiliates, so I'm basically still Amazon affiliate because I found that to be a really good way of making money because of the trust factor. Plus it's US dollars into Australian dollars. But a lot of my sites are still very small sites. Many of them are still just the 10 to 20 pages and they do well. And so I know a lot of people advocate putting tons and tons of content on it. You don't need to. It's just not necessary.
Chris, how often are you looking at those sites now? Not often.
Well, very often.
Yeah.
Just mainly because my attention has gone into the lead generation sites, which I'm really loving.
And Mark, for you, you weren't really that involved in it right at the beginning, but then you started learning the digital skills with us, didn't you? You were retrained, and because what's your original background, Mark?
Original background was in marketing and business development. At the time, we just sold a cafe bookstore, and we were burnt out very quickly from that, and that's why we needed a change. And also, I wanted a simpler life. Staff and landlords are not really the direction that I wanted to head in. So that was why we started looking at the digital aspects, and that's how we got onto Matt and Liz in the first place, to see an option from having a bricks and mortar store and staff to see what we could create. So no knowledge whatsoever in IT or computers. My knowledge was just based on what I needed to know to run a business.
So that's a really interesting point for the two of you. Yeah, for the last 7 years, you guys have run this business, which you've been successfully been able to replace both your incomes with just basically one main staff member who's been the consistent, which is your techie.
Yes.
True. Correct.
So that was a big driver for you. And then, Mark, what was your first strategy that you started using that got you the results, that got you out of, that replaced your income?
Well, I did buy some less expensive affiliate sites, which I'm always pleased to. They're still ticking over. So there's probably just $1,000 a month coming in them. I look at them about once every 6 months.
Yeah.
So more could be done. More can be done.
More could be done, Mark.
More could be done. I think the big jump for me was when I assisted the local hockey association, which our sons were involved in, and redid their website. And I started getting work through members of that community, and enhanced, I suppose, my community profile in that particular community. And I was approached by a number of organisations there to create or recreate existing websites that were not performing satisfactorily. So I ended up being directed by demand into local websites from that aspect. And even to this day, I still help Little Athletics with their website, and I've just completed a website. I'm also on another community event, Hallora Marathon. So I still enjoy being involved in the community event side of things. So it's kind of my way of helping the community, but it also, what you put in does come around, and I'm certainly known around the community a lot from providing assistance in the digital arena.
And we should mention your community. You guys live in obviously quite a rural area. You're on acreage, and
yes,
we're not talking a big community here. This is your classic rural community in country.
That's right.
Well, what I love about you guys, the actual story and the journey. So everyone heard, and those in our close community know that Liz and I love working with people like you guys and helping around that transition, because it is challenging. There is ups and downs in this, and it's a scary time to walk away from everything you've done for the last 20 years or so of your life to suddenly just go, I'm going to make money online working from home. So let's now get into the exciting part, because you two have obviously, from speaking to you, yes, I can tell you're in a really good space in life. Obviously, the stars have aligned, and it's worked out even better than what you thought. Like, you're in a really good space. So what strategy has mainly worked for you both? What have you settled in?
So for us overall, and we have tried some different things, I have a number of ebook programs, which, okay, they tick along quite well, but they're not my focus anymore. The Amazon affiliate sites, fantastic. They just go along really nice and steadily. We ventured into the Amazon FBA space, which was really interesting. So we sourced product in China, did the trademarking process, had all the packaging organized, and so product went straight from China to the US into the Amazon FBA centers there.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very challenging 2.5 years. It's not for the faint-hearted because so much is completely out of your control with Amazon, and while they're very much customer orientated, that's for their buying customers, not for their supply customers. So it was with great joy we actually closed down our Amazon account earlier this year because it was just taking up too much headspace. And so I've been working on the lead generation websites for since early 2019, and loving it because I'm working with people. I've made friendships. We get along really well, and it's a win-win situation because we're helping each other, and the people that we are helping are just so appreciative of the business that's coming in. And for a couple of them, it's changed their lives completely because they've gone into niches that they never thought they'd ever go into, and loving the new lease of life that it's brought them. So for me, I love this side of it because it's easy. And another big side of it is that with the blog affiliate sites, constantly, for the majority of people, churning out articles and trying to stay ahead. Whereas the lead generation sites, it's very stable. Once you rank number one, it's a very stable arena, much less likely to be hit by Google algorithms. And so for that, I'm very grateful. But the biggest part that I'm really enjoying, other than getting a really stable income in every month, is the fact that it's fun and it's really easy to run. Some for 5 months, some, that's typical 12 to 18 months, some are a bit longer, depending. It's very much a piece of string. But now that I'm really familiar across a range of niches and how other designers build their websites, I can see that the majority of these people are actually graphic designers. They don't have any real idea of how to build a site. And so for that, having all that knowledge since 2013 to 14, amazing, just amazing.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, based on your lifestyle. Because what is your lifestyle these days? Can you mention what some of the other new fun hobby that you have, Chris?
Oh, I've taken up house sitting.
Yeah.
Because I'm in a different energy space. So in the last couple of months, I've done 4 house sits, actually 3 this year, and they've been fabulous. So it's all on acreage or in Warragul. Yeah. And I've looked after cats, I've looked after dogs, but it's been in a different energy space. Yeah. And it's allowed time for lots of really great ideas to come in and to be re-inspired. And just pottering around I was house sitting on 100 acres. Nice. And 2 really fantastic dogs, a collie and a little round Jack Russell who were called Butterball. His name's Buddy. And it was wonderful gazing out into the mountains, having a cup of tea, and I came up with some really, really good ideas.
So while you're house sitting, you can, on these beautiful properties, just sit there with your laptop, and that's your life now.
It is a laptop lifestyle. It is very much everywhere. Thankfully, has very fast NBN, which has been really good. Right. And on the odd occasion where it hasn't, I've just nicked home and dropped in and say, "Hi guys, I'm here just for the day to do some work," and then disappear off again. And so it's been absolutely wonderful, and I've really, really enjoyed it. And it is having a different space to work in for 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 days. So next month I'm going down to Balnarring by the beach, and I've got a 10-day sit with a fabulous cat and a lady who grows her own herbs and makes all the tinctures. And I love that house because it's the best cafe there.
Fabulous cat, oxymoron.
He is. He's a great cat, is Riley. But the space that it is, the ideas are so good, and you come home feeling refreshed and re-inspired. Yeah. And it's really good to get out of your space because you tend to think the same in the space that you're in all day. And by being out in different space, you've got different energy factors, you've got different influences, and so you tend to think differently, which allows other ideas to come in. Love it.
And look at all the cool things that's happening in your online business now because of this. So your life's suddenly freed up. You both of you sound fantastic. You know, talking to you, yes, I can just tell you're in the flow now. And you're telling me about your kids. They're at the point where they're doing really well. They're going to be leaving home soon. So you're thinking out the next 2 or 3 years. So life, you really settled into a very nice spot by the sounds of it.
So, today I was running bush trail, running up in the bush, did about 8Ks, caught up with Chris at a local cafe, and thought we'd get back home and do some work, and website editing, or not editing, auditing. And then arrange some appointments for next week for business mentoring, and tomorrow I'll be back at the college. So it's mix it up in such a variety, which I find very stimulating.
And who would have thought that is fantastic? I look at you both and I think I can remember when you guys came onto our course, the two of you together, and 8 years ago, when you both come on, who would have thought one day you'd be sitting there, man, I've just had the best day ever. Go out, go for an 8K run, sit in a cafe with Chris, and then joyously do some website auditing. I can imagine you two just going, what the hell is that? So, think 8 years ago, but now to you, that's joy and bliss, just website auditing, building a website. And Chris, for you, building a website for a local business owner, that was something you never wanted to do. And isn't it funny that the paths our lives can take through consistent action and pushing yourself to retrain in a pretty a new environment that you've both taken on, and it's worked out perfectly. It's just absolutely fantastic to see your journey, guys. And thank you so much for sharing with us today. The journey over the last 8 years of Mark and Chris is just absolutely fantastic.
It's been fun.
It's been fun, happier and healthier now. Yeah.